Tuesdays are one of my favorite days of the week. Why? Because I get to come and talk to you guys, and we get to talk about all things Scentsy. And that is honestly one of my favorite things to talk about. So let's just dive in. This week, um, I know I was just doing shout outs on the group page, and let me just say how much I am blown away by what you guys have been doing in October so far. This month, I thought September was a really great month, and it was. It totally was. Um, hi. I had no idea that this month was going to be following up September. I mean, for real. You guys are working your businesses. You guys are setting up systems. You guys are trying new things in your business that maybe you didn't really realize it was something that you needed to do. Um, one hot second. If you've been, if you follow my journey at all, um, I'll go off on a little tangent for just a very short second and then get right back. Um, my husband's my husband's job is currently pulling him in two different directions. You want to talk about it's a crazy time, or I don't have enough time to work my business, or things are just too hectic. Let me just put this in perspective for you. My husband, and that's who was just texting, um, they are wanting to transfer him to a different distribution center. To the end goal is for him um to take it over, and that's amazing. That's great. That was one of the things that when um I started working Scentsy full time in late 2019, and decided not to go back to a corporate world, which thank you, good Lord, for that opportunity. Is that was the thing, right? I was able to support my husband to be able to do what we needed to do for our family. And here we are. We are looking to literally move states. He's got two different possibilities on the table right now. We live right outside of Kansas City, Missouri. So just so you know, um, it's a town called Lee Summit, Missouri. We absolutely love it. We absolutely love our home. We love our neighborhood. We are literally close to everything. And when I say everything, I mean like I have a Target that is probably a little less than 5 minutes from my house. Okay. That's like a really great place to live, really great school for our youngest, all the 9 yards, everything that we wanted. And we're thinking of well, not we're not thinking it's going to happen because that's how his career is moving, right? But we're either going to be moving to Des Moines, Iowa, or that area, or to Greensboro, North Carolina. And so, if you want to talk about scatterbrained, or oh my gosh, how am I keeping up with everything? Like, I honestly don't know where I'll be living in the next few months. Okay. Not just saying, oh, we're going to move houses or whatever. No, we're like literally moving states. Okay. So, all right. So if you see me being a little anxiety is like up here, that's because it's true. My anxiety is up there because I honestly have no idea where we're going to be living. But that's besides the point. Um, but it just goes to show how amazing the freedom is in this business. So there we go. All right, got that out of the way. All right, so this month, absolutely fantastic. I am just blown away, and I know There are several of you that we are tracking your promotion, right? There are several of you that are right on the cusp of promoting from certified to lead. And that's because you have been sponsoring, you have been doing follow ups, you have been working on your personal sales. You are doing the things that get you there. Now, on the other hand, there are some of you that I know that we've talked recently that some of you are just kind of really struggling right now. And let me tell you, from somebody who I'm going on 11 years in Scentsy, I can tell you there have been many, 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 many times where Jacqui has literally driven the the crazy school bus, right? Because I didn't know where I was going. I had absolutely no direction. I didn't know what was happening in my business. I wasn't doing anything. It was like deer in the headlights. Like I need to do follow-ups, but how? How should I do follow? I've had all of those things happen in my journey. And I will tell you in the moment, it can be very hard, right? It can be a very kind of like a kick at the knees, right? Where you feel like you're just like, things just are not working in my favor right now. What is happening? Those are, and I just had this conversation with Madison, our youngest, who's going to be 13. And I was explaining to her, there are times in your life where you have growing pains in your business, while at the moment when you're in them, when you're in the thick of those times, yes, it seems extremely hard. Yes, it seems like you just want to give up, throw your hands in the air and be like, I don't even know anymore, right? Those are the times that, trust me, your biggest moments of growth are going to come out of the hardest seasons. And I say this with all love because I've been there. I've been there in my business, I've been there in my life. I have been there during those crazy moments. And while you're in them, it's kind of like being in the eye of a hurricane, right? You can't necessarily see what's happening until you get out of it. So when you get out of that hard season, when you get on the other side is when you're going to see the results of everything that has been happening. And I wanted to call this week the Go Big week because for a lot of different reasons. But for one, because I want you to really realize that you need to go big in your business. And for me, for a long time, that was a very hard thing for me to say or do because, for one, my confidence just wasn't there. And I really didn't feel confident in my business. So I was like, go big on what? Like, I don't know. Right. Okay. You need to go big. You need to set big goals. You need to decide that if you're doing this for a business, you need to go big. You have to start telling yourself every single day, at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, whenever you kind of do your wind down, right? Mine's usually at the end of the day. Okay. When I'm looking back and saying, okay, what did I get done today? What didn't I get done? What do I need to push to tomorrow? What needs to get done this week still? All the things, right? When you are having that moment is when you need to really take a step back and realize that it's through these hard times that are going to show you what you are truly made of. And if you don't believe in yourself, then believe in what I'm telling you right now. You have every single opportunity to do whatever it is that you want to do in this business. You want to get to the point to where you can retire from that job? Awesome, you can do that. Do you want to be able to pay off that debt? Do you want to be able to take care of the holidays? I was saying this earlier in one of the shout outs, right? You guys, I remember, and when I thought it was one of those rough seasons in my journey, okay, I'm not going to lie, I was having a really tough time, not getting along with my sponsor. It was a really hard time. I felt very lost. But at the same time, I kind of dug my heels in and I was like, okay, I just need to keep having conversations. I just need to keep adding to my team. I just need to keep pouring into my business. I just need to figure out a better way to do follow-ups, or I need to try something different in how I'm booking parties and all of those things. And it wasn't until after that season was over that I started to see the growth that had happened in my business because I went big. I buckled down. And that's the hardest time to do those things. It really, really is. I'm not going to lie. I'm not here to sugarcoat it for you. That is the hardest time that you're going to find, where it is for you to be able to really be able to see that big picture. Seeing that big picture, for me, one of the very first times I can remember seeing that big picture is it had been a really rough season. It'd been even though it's our busiest season, right? The fall is our busiest season, and it really truly is. But I had had a really hard time. Just things were just not lining up. It just didn't seem to be happening. But I kept at it. I dug in my heels and I still did the things that I needed to do, right? I still was working on getting my sales. I was still working on building my team. I was still all the things. I was a lead consultant. And I remember feeling so frustrated with myself, feeling lost and not knowing what to do, and feeling like I just wasn't getting anywhere. Like I was just literally treading water in this business. I didn't feel that forward momentum. And then the end of the month came, and then our commission payouts hit, and it was in November. So it was everything I had done in that October month. Well, and we all know in our business, right? Everything that we do is continuing to build and build and build. But everything that I'd been doing in that October, during the entire month of October, I felt like I was literally treading water, like I wasn't getting ahead. Like everything I was doing just it wasn't doing it, but I was still doing it. I got my paycheck on that November 10th or 9th or whatever it was, right? And I remember it being a little over, I think it was a little over $500, like almost $600. And for me at that point in my journey, that had been my biggest paycheck that I had received. And I told my husband, and I said, "You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. Do you know how much my Scentsy check was?" And he was like, "Of course." He's like, he's like, "I don't know. What was your check?" And I remember telling him, and I remember him telling me, he goes, "You said this was going to take care of the holidays, and it is." And I literally stopped in my own tracks because I realized I had set a goal for myself to be able to take care of Christmas shopping. My older kids were much younger at that time, and I had our youngest, right? And I was just trying to be the mom who was able to take care and really have a good Christmas for my family. Being able to do that season, we can talk about earning incentive trips. We can talk about earning annual mentor, annual sales, and these huge things, right? It was that moment in my business that, for one, I felt the most proud. For two, I remember thinking, I never thought I would get to this point, because I truly did not believe in myself. I wasn't setting big goals. I was just trying to do what I thought I needed to do, right? I just needed to do the things. But I wasn't seeing like that immediate result that I thought I needed to see. And so I did. I'd gotten down on myself. I had literally kind of buried my head in the sand, going, I just don't know if this is going to work for me. It was a really big moment. for me personally, as a mom, as a wife. I will never forget that. And that is what has spurred me on to realize that even in those dark times, even in the times where I feel like I'm struggling or I'm not making any headway, that at the end of the day, I am. Because everything that I am doing is pouring into my business and making it better. Had I just stopped showing up for my business, had I just stopped doing follow-ups, had I just stopped trying to make any sales because I thought nothing was happening, then I certainly wouldn't have been at that point, and I certainly probably would have quit Scentsy. I would have literally walked away. I want you guys to set your goals big. Set them big. Now we talk about the fundamentals of working our business, right? We talk about we have to have our personal sales. We have to be sponsoring in our business. We have to be investing back into our teams and our groups, right? And really leaning on each other during these times. I will tell you, I will tell you that being able to do all of those things, it has always been for me an evolution. I have always been pivoting. I have always been trying a new system or a new program or a new app or learning how to do something different, right? I remember for a long time when I was learning Canva, and I remember getting so frustrated with myself, like, ugh, this darn Canva, why can't I get it to do what I want it to do? I just had to keep trying. I just had to keep going. I just had to put one foot in front of the other and just literally keep moving. Because here's the thing, you're going to find that your systems are going to change. You're going to find that the things that you're doing now are probably going to look different at this time next year in your business. Because for one, you've probably grown, whether that's team size, sales wise, promotion wise, all the things, right? I have seen very, very, very many consultants over the years be able to completely turn around the trajectory of their business by just tweaking what was working. And here's the thing, as much as I love the tech and I love the programs and I love the systems and I love all the things, yes, you need to have those things in order to sustain your business. But here's the other side of that, is that what you're doing, it can look different if it's not working for you. You have the ability to change what is and what isn't working. Every single day in your business, you have that ability. You have that opportunity to make a difference because your business is your business. What works for me may or may not work for you. I know you've heard this before, but I want you to really look at it in this go big kind of aspect, because it doesn't matter how fancy you are. It can literally be a notebook that you keep with names and check marks and all these little symbols of, oh, that's when how I know I sent happy mail, because I highlight their name after I send out the happy mail, or I put a check mark next to their name every time that I do a follow up, right? And oh, I can see there's 3 check marks there, so I know that I've done at least 3 touches with that customer, right? It can be as simple as that. It can be as complicated as putting it into an Excel spreadsheet and creating columns and workflows and all kinds of techie things, right? You just have to figure out what is going to work for you. And then you just have to really do that well. It can be as simple as a notebook or a binder. There are lots of different programs and apps out there. And I know, because I know I personally do a lot of trainings on how to use these applications or how they're working for me, and how it's made a difference in my business. And all of that is great. But what I want you to focus on, if you are focused on moving and making big things happen, then you need to get back to the basics. You have to bring everything back. And if that means I'm going to figure out how to learn boards, or I'm going to figure out how to use Trello, because I hear it works for a lot of people, I want you to put all of that stuff on the back burner, because while you're going to spend some time literally learning it, and that's what you're going to have to do, right? I didn't wake up one day and just know how to do these things. It took practice. It took me pouring into watching trainings and figuring out how to do it and literally just playing with the programs, okay? It took all of that for me to get to that point. But until then, you still have to be doing the work. The work still needs to be done. So don't focus on trying to learn all the things. Focus on learning one thing at a time and learning it really well. And while you're learning that thing really well, go back to simplicity. Bring everything back to basics, right? Maybe it's a binder, maybe it's a notebook, right? Maybe it's post-it notes all over the wall. Maybe it's a dry erase board. I talked about my dry erase board and how that worked for me for a really long time. But whatever it looks like doesn't matter. It matters because you are taking the actions to do it. So don't compare yourself to where others are. I had a conversation with someone who had reached out. She is I believe she's certified. I believe she's a certified consultant. She is not on my team or my group. Just someone that I've networked with for a short while, and she had reached out wanting to asking me if I would be an accountability partner. And while I would love to be everybody's accountability partner, at the end of the day, her business looks completely different than mine, right? I not only have a larger organization in how I'm trying to work with my team and my group and things like that. I'm just in a completely different journey at this time in my business than they are. Now, it's different if that person is my front line or in my team or in my group, and I'm always happy to work with my team and my group. And I think you all know that pretty darn well. But as much as I want to help everybody else, here it is at the end of the day. If right, I have accountability partners. I think that they are one of the greatest assets you will find in this business is finding who those accountability people are to you, right? And it doesn't mean that you are, they're giving you a list of things to do or anything like that. It literally means that those are your people that you can lean on, or you can say, hey, what are you working on this week? Because I just feel like everything that I'm doing just doesn't seem to be working. Or how did you do your customer thank yous last month? Because I'm just really roadblocked on what I need to be doing right now. Those are the people that you're going to lean on, right? I always say, and one of my favorite quotes is never be the smartest person in the room. And that is absolutely true. Never be the smartest person in the room. Never. And if you are, then that means it's time to find a new room, right? So you have to be really not only surrounding yourself with those people who have the same mindset as you do, but you also have to have those people in your life, your circle, your tribe, your accountability partners, whatever you want to name them, right? You have to have those people who are working at the same level that you are. So for me to tell her, I appreciate that. I would love to be able to not only have the time to do it, but be able to be that for you. But let me be completely honest. I am not the best accountability partner for you because I'm not at the same space in my journey that you are in yours. She's still trying to build a customer base, and she's still trying to just have people join her team to be able to get those promotions, right? I'm on a different road than she is, right? I'm in this different neighborhood over here, and it's not going to help her, and it's really not going to help me. And those accountability partners need to be symbiotic, right? They need to be able to give and take and give and take. And while you should be doing that with your own team members, so please tell me that you are, and if not, you're gonna start today. But while you do that with your own team members, that looks different as a leader, right? As a leadership and having those people, right? To have that stewardship. Find yourself the people who you can reach out to, who are at the same level in your business that you are, right? Or trying to do the same things in your business that you are. Because those are the people that are going to get you through the hard days. Those are the people who are going to lift you up when you need it. Those are the people that when you feel yourself just literally out of ideas, I don't know what to do, I feel like I've done it all, those are the people that you will reach out to. And then it's going to turn around and it's going to be them reaching out to you. It's giving, it's taking, it's remembering our core values, the authenticity. I want to be completely authentic in everything that I do. I want to be have that simplicity in my business. Not everything needs to be fancy and shiny. I also want to have that generosity to be able to help others and to give back and to share those Canva templates or the Trello board or whatever it is, right? Because that's what we do in this community. So, as we are going into the second half of October, I want you to sit down and I want you to look at where you are today in your business, your personal sales, your team or your group, wherever you're at in, in that piece of your journey, right? If you don't have team members yet, well, then sponsoring needs to be on the top priority of your list, right? Along with your personal sales. Because as my superstar director told me that I will never forget, is that sales are for today, sponsoring is for forever. And it's true, right? Because I can get sales this month and maybe blow it out of the water and just kill it in sales. But if I'm not sponsoring, then my organization, my team isn't going to be growing. I have to have those pieces in order for everything to continue moving forward. So you can never stop sponsoring. You can never stop working on your sales, booking those parties, right? Following up with your customers, because here is the truth at the end of the day is that when you do follow-ups, those and that is how you build the relationships with your customers so they continue coming back to you every single time when they see a new product's being launched, or oh my gosh, you're going to love this scent, I tried it for the first time, this one is right up your alley, you have got to try this, here's a sample, let me know what you think. And then following up with those customers. Whenever you're sending out samples, start doing follow ups on those. So, whatever that system looks like, again, it can look like just like a notebook, right? It can be a notebook where you've written everything down of who you sent it out. It can be a spreadsheet that you've typed up on the computer and you print it out and you start highlighting it. I don't care what it looks like. Put something in place to where you can track what you've done when you're following up and what the outcome was, right? One of the main ways when I do my follow up, the very first thing I do is when someone orders, I send them a thank you. I'm kind of converting it now more into text. I'm starting to do more texting in my business than I have before, which for me is really starting to give me good results. Okay. Because let's be real and honest here. Most of us are probably pretty attached to our devices, right? As much as I want to say I unplug, and I do have moments of the day where I do unplug, right? I do. I'm pretty darn connected to this thing. So if I'm that type of a person, I can make the assumption that my customers probably are too. They very well may see a text before they ever see a Facebook message. They very well may read an email before they see that I've tagged them in a shout out on Instagram, right? It's just the way that the world works, right? Most of us we are attached to our devices, whether that's checking our emails, reading our text messages, all of those simple basic things, even if we're not like completely tied into social media. So take a look at how you're doing things, and maybe you do need to make a change. but have that system. So I am immediately reaching out and I am saying thank you for your order. I'm not asking for a new order. I'm not doing anything else but saying thank you. The next time that I follow up with that person is usually after their order has already arrived. So I'm checking that order status to see, or if they've ordered through your website, then you'll get an email as well as the consultant to know that an order is shipped. That way you can then go back to it and know, okay, it looks like it arrived on Friday last week. So today would be a really great day for me to follow up with Trisha and be like, hey, how are you loving that warmer? Do you love the scent? I hope it arrived okay, right? All the things. And then the next time I'm following up is then it's at that 2 month mark. And at that 2 month mark is when I'm saying, are you ready for a wax refill? Or, oh my gosh, the bricks are here. Are you ready for this scent? Because this one's fantastic. Or this one's right in your wheelhouse. You are going to love this one. And if you don't want to commit to a full brick, then I suggest starting a club and adding at least one bar to your club and checking it out and trying it and letting me know what you think of it, because I think it's pretty darn amazing. That's just simple follow-up. And it can look like boards, it can look like Trello, it can look like Project Broadcast, it can look like, I don't know, it can look like a notebook at the end of the day. Okay? Whatever it is, just do it. Set those goals. Look to see where you're at today and what you need to do to get to where you need to be by the end of the month. Because here's the real deal, right? That November paycheck's coming. It's coming. So are you satisfied with where you're at? If not, then you have almost about 2 weeks right now to start upping the volume. You need to be putting more into your business. You just are. Because let me tell you right now, stopping and not doing anything is not going to get you, to that goal that you want to be at. You have to just continue to keep going and learn from the things that do work and learn from the things that don't work. It goes both ways. So let's finish out October strong. Okay, next week we're going to go more in depth and I'm going to be showing you some different ways on utilizing your workstation and some of the really great ways that you can do that. So make sure that you tune in next week, tag your team members, share it with them. That's what's coming up next week, and we're really going to dive in deep to that. So I hope to be able to give you guys some really great new ways to work your business just by utilizing your workstation. Remember, we're going to keep it simple right now, right? This is a busy time of year. A lot of things are happening. We've got a lot of products coming in, going out, all the things. So we want to make sure that we are being as good as we can in our business and we are pushing ourselves to do more. Go big in your business, and then wait to see where it takes you, because it will. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you soon.